This is something, so we're doing a ranking video. Oh man, this goes on YouTube, so I should probably do like a YouTube intro or whatever. All right, everybody, today we're doing, dude, I can't fucking do stupid cringy ass YouTube intro. Welcome. All right, we're back with another ranking video of the difficulty of the Japanese language in video games that I have streamed on Twitch. Link in the description. Follow me. Come join in the fun. We have a running total going, or a running list, and now we're going to add the most recent updates to it. Let's go! That's a cool intro. Thanks, man. Okay. Let's start with As Libra. As Libra というゲームは、インディーゲームで一人の日本人のサラリーマンに作られたゲームだよ。16年間かかって、まあ最近出たんだけど、このゲームはダイアログめっちゃ多いよ。There's so much dialogue in this game. There's tons of dialogue in this game. And the dialogue is pretty tough, I would say. I think, though, that there is a lot of words that are repeated. There's some expressions. I think there was more expressions than anything else. Like, not too many archaisms, not a ton of jargon, but a lot of expressions. And some hard synonyms, but not too many. Kanji density for As Libra, normal. 普通だと思うよ。普通。Dialogue density めっちゃ多い。There's a ton. 振り仮名ほとんどない。まあ全然ないかな。I think there's none. Made up words あんまりなかったかな。If there was a made up word, it was usually in katakana. There were some old words, I guess, but I don't think there's anything made up. Dialogue audio? None. Length of game? 超長えよ。Convenience. Dialogue log? ない。Font? 普通。Save spots? 普通。Pausability? 普通。Number of Anki cards. Movables do. You don't have to tell us if you don't want to. If you're like, yeah, take that criteria out. That's totally fine. But As Libra number of Anki cards, I would imagine it wouldn't be that many, right? For that one, I didn't think that the Tango didn't seem like too hard. My thought with this one, I'm thinking that this one should go into high B tier. 129? Oh! Maybe we gotta get it higher. Maybe it should be higher than... What do you think? Low A? Maybe more than Sea of Stars. Okay, we'll put it low A. Okay, I think... Okay, we'll say low A tier. こういうゲームの方が難しいと思う. I think these games are harder. Do you think Sea of Stars, in retrospect, should Sea of Stars go down to the B tier? What do you think? I know that it was annoying, but maybe it doesn't deserve to be up here with these A tiers. We'll decide that later. Okay, anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to a different game. I'm not gonna go in this order. I want to talk about this one real quick. Hades 2. Hades 2, we only played a little bit of it in Japanese, but I got enough to know that it's right about where Hades 1 is, which is that the Japanese is way harder than you would think. It's way harder than you would think. Like, 思った以上に難しい日本語あるよ。Hades だったら。それ、まあ、なぜかというと、その書き方がすげえ古いだよ。喋り方とか、まあキャラクターの喋り方がすごく古いから結構難しいよ。There's a really old way of speaking and they use a lot of old words and archaisms. It's tough. I don't think we have to say too much more about it because it's this it's about the same as Hades 1. Okay, we got that out of the way. Let's talk about Okami. Okami. This is such a strange one to rank. Because if we look at the difficulty, vocab, archaisms, so much. このゲームはね、archaisms だらけよ。It's like just archaisms. Everything is so old. The jargon's hard because it's all Buddhist terms and stuff. There's a lot of 仏教とか神道の単語がすっげえ多いから難しいよね、狼が。Hard synonyms, dialect density 結構あると思うよ。Dialect density? Isn't Isun Kansai Ben? Or some other fucked up dialect? And then we've got kanji. There's so much kanji in that game. There's just so much dialogue. This game, Okami, is so long. 超長いよ、このゲーム。本当にね。It is so long. And it is so repetitive. 何回も同じことを言い返してるから、めんどくさいよね、このゲーム。It is really hard to get through. そのゲームのデザイン、アートワークとかすごく綺麗。ゲームをやるのが楽しいけど、長すぎと思う。ちょっと長すぎと思う。そしてね、ダイアログがありすぎと思う。I think there's too much dialogue. It's a bit too long of a game. But it is beautiful, and the story is really cool, and the characters are really fun and cool. But it should have ended where I thought it should end. Like the second half of the game, I feel like is not really that necessary. Anyway, putting that aside. Made up words? めっちゃあるよ。Made up words. 本当に日本語じゃない単語がめっちゃある。Dialogue audio. まあ、あるけど日本語喋れないよね。という感じで。そういう感じだからね。That's what it sounds like. It's just like. Okay, other things about this game. It's too long. Convenience, no dialogue. The font is fucked up to read. Save spots. For its time, it's fine. Pausability, not an issue. I think that Okami... Oh, but here's the thing that I forgot that I haven't gone to yet. Okami has furigana. The entire game has furigana in it. 普通にね、ゲームがフリガナがあったら、まあ DQ になっちゃうよね。フリガナがあったら DQ になっちゃう。でもさ、このゲームは本当に難しいよね。フリガナがあっても難しい。その言葉とか漢字の使い方がすげえ古いから本当にまずいよね。きっと少なくても A 級レベルだと思うよ。A 級レベルがちょっと redundant けどA 級だと思う。I think it is. I think this one is like I think it's AQ. If not S, I wouldn't mind. I think AQ. But I think it's harder than like I really do think it's harder than a lot of these games. I'm gonna put it here for now. Damn, AQ is filling up. Okay, let's move on to Nine Souls. This game is hard as shit, dude. This game, Nine Souls, is like if I think it's harder than Yakuza. It's possibly harder than Kuon. I think it might be harder than Kuon, to be honest. This game is hard as hell, dude. The Japanese is like there's a lot of Bukyo stuff in it because it's made by Taiwanese game developers, and there's a lot of science it's like a mix. The game's story is like a mix of cyberpunk and science tech stuff with Bukkyo, Buddhist things. So like the combination of that means that if you're trying to learn this language, you're in for a tough time. You're in for a hella tough time. The Japanese is really hard. I actually don't feel bad about putting it in the third spot because it's tough and there is no dialogue audio to help you know how to read. There were words in that game that like the tree, I forgot what we were calling the tree, the sacred tree thing, but like Japanese people in the chat were just like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. So this game is really hard. There's a lot of archaisms. There's a lot of jargon, expressions, hard synonyms. Oh my gosh. A ton of dialogue, or dialect, not so much this one. Dialect density, not so much. Kanji density? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Tons of it. Dialogue density? Tons of it. Furigana? Hotondo nai yo. Just for names, pretty much, of characters. Made up words? A ton. Audio? None. Length of the game is not too long, but there's a lot to read. Dialogue log? No. The font was fine, though. The font was fine. I forgot to mention, I think, that maybe I did. The font in Okami sucked. Oops. Save spots? Fine. Pausability? Not an issue. SQ. And Mooble said Expedition is one of the easier games. I think Expedition might be the easiest one out of these. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to Undertale. Undertale. このゲームってさ、本当にびっくりしたよ。I thought that this game was going to be easy. I thought ほとんど漢字ないからね。There's almost no kanji in this game. でもさ、それはね、逆にもっと難しいと思う。本当に、まあいつも漢字のことを文句するけど、やっぱりね、その言葉の始まりと終わりがもっと明らかに見えるから、それが本当にもっと読みやすいと思う。漢字がある方がもっと読みやすい。I think that it's actually, for me, as I've gotten better and better with kanji and just reading in general, I would rather have kanji and just kanji that I don't know than not have kanji and just be reading hiragana. Also, this game, まあ冗談とかはめっちゃあるから皮肉とかはすごく多いから難しいよこのゲーム。It's really hard. The Japanese is so weird. The English is weird. 英語でも日本語でも変だからね。わかりづらい。このゲーム。そうね。It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. あとはね、sense of humor がないともっと難しくなるね。Maybe that's why I found it so difficult. No, just kidding. Just kidding. So I think that Undertale, a part of me wants to put it in AQ, but I don't think it actually deserves that. Mostly just because, like, there's a lot of weird words. There's a lot of, it's kind of hard to understand, but not having kanji in it really does make it, it does technically make it easier, especially according to the Joken. Having no kanji, right? Or almost, there's a couple parts that have kanji, but it's very, very minimal. Dialogue density, quite a lot. Furigana, no need. Made up words. Not so much of that. The expressions, though, are obnoxious. There's a lot of strange synonyms as well. Save spots are fine. Font is annoying. But because it's all in hiragana and katakana, it's not that bad. Font is mostly just a problem when you're trying to read complex kanji. And we'll talk about that with Delta Rune in just a moment. I think that B is where it belongs. でも B 級のどこかな? それがね、B 級のどこかな? I think we'll put it in B for now. I think B is a good spot for it. We'll put it low B, even though I do think it's trickier than you think. You think it's going to be down here. このレベルだと思ったけど、実際にやるとやっぱりね、もっと難しいな。次 is Delta Rune. このゲームはね、アンダーテールとめっちゃ似てる。けど、やっぱりね、異なりがありますよ。There are differences. The biggest and most obvious difference is that Delta Rune has kanji, which means I do think that Delta Rune is going to be a level, it's going to be harder than Undertale. I'm not sure that it is more difficult. I don't know that it still belongs in the A tier. There's a lot of strange Japanese still, but I think that maybe there's even less jokes just because like Sans is not around as much. But it is a lot longer. It's way longer than Undertale. It's not even finished yet, and I think it's longer than Undertale. And it's only like 2/7 of the way done. I'm gonna put it here, I guess. I don't know. Is it harder than Final Fantasy X? Well, Final Fantasy X is kind of like, that was the first game I ever streamed, so it's a bit harder to judge it. And I don't know that it's the Messenger has a lot of fucked up. I think actually By the Messenger is a pretty good spot for it. I actually feel okay with this. Joined a little late, but what made FF10-2 lower than 10? Good question. It's mostly the length of the game. 10-2 is really short if you don't do all the side optional shenanigans that are going on, which I didn't do. and so 10-2 is really, really short of a game. If you just play through it, you can beat it in not too long at all. Whereas Final Fantasy X, not only are there unskippable cutscenes unless you mod that in, but in general the story is just much longer. So that's the main reason why there's a difference between 10 and 10-2. But I will say that those were the first games I ever played, and when I did my first ranking of games, it had been like, I'd been streaming for like 2 years maybe or so, and my memory was a little hazy. I do remember 10 just being a lot harder, and also my approach to playing games was a lot different. Rather than like kind of now where we do a little more deep dive, where we like try to make sure we know what every word is, I was more just listening to the audio and reading it in Japanese, and things that I didn't understand, I didn't really pause and stop to like dig deep into it. So that is also why the Final Fantasy X and 10-2 rankings are a little like, they're a little iffy, to be honest, if I'm being real. Maybe I'll revisit them someday. So we've now come to our most recent game that we played. Still haven't technically finished it yet, but I'm in the third act. I'm almost done. I put in more than enough time to be able to accurately rank Expedition 33 on its difficulty of Japanese. Okay, criteria here. Vocab, honestly not that hard. The vocab, I was expecting, maybe I've just, like recently I've been playing a lot of games that have felt really hard, like freaking Nine Souls, which is like crazy hard, and Okami, another really hard one, and Hades 2. I was like going into this thinking like, okay, here we go, you know, a French game, huh? Not that hard at all. Like this game, the Japanese has not been that difficult. Dialect density, everybody speaks in normal dialect. No Osaka ben, Kansai ben, nothing. Kanji density, normal. Dialogue density, there's a fair amount of it, but it's not hard. It's really not that hard. Furigana, I almost feel like there's been no need for furigana because like it hasn't been difficult. You know? Made up words. Actually, there's not even really made up words. Like for instance, a lot of the words that they say in French in the English version, like gommage or merde, right? They just use Japanese words in them. They don't like katakana-ize them or anything. Like they use masho, or kuso for shit or fuck, right? So like there's not any of that. No dialogue audio, unfortunately. Length of the game, decent. No log. Font is perfectly legible. Save spots, not a problem. Pausability, not a problem. So this is maybe a little controversial. I think Expedition 33 might be a C tier difficulty. I feel like there's really just like a couple of hard words. Like Enseitai, right? Expedition. Enseitai, that's a bit of a tricky word. But there's really not that much. And then once they use a word, they almost never use a synonym for it. Like they've decided that revive or resurrect, they're gonna use yomigaeru as opposed to like fukatsu or umarekawaru, which is a little bit, that's more like reincarnation, but like they're using just yomigaeru, right? And that makes it really easy because there's not like that wide of a pool of words that you have to know, I don't think. So I'm thinking maybe not C tier because like I don't think it's hard. I think it's probably harder than Resident Evil. But I don't know if it's harder than Undertale. I feel like I've struggled more with Undertale. I struggled more with Undertale than I did with Expedition 33, which feels so weird to say. But I don't know. Journals were probably the most difficult thing as usual, yeah. Which, what are you gonna do about that? It's just the way that journals are. But even then, like, I really don't think it's that hard. Undertale made me go, ugh, more times than Expedition 33 ever has. Then again, I'm also like listening to English audio, so that might be influencing this a little bit. But I'm kind of okay with putting it there. C tier. Or sorry, B tier for difficulty. Low B tier. Now here's the next portion of the stream. Or the ranking. Is there anything that we want to change? This is a great opportunity. If y'all see something that you're like, what the hell, man? Like, why? Like, explain yourself. Why are these in such different places? Now's the time to throw that out there. Looking through here, Disco Elysium, I don't know if that's ever going to be topped. Maybe if I play Death Stranding. But for right now, Disco Elysium's staying where it is. Hyofu no Sekai, that's also hard as shit. I feel good about all these. Yakuza 0. Yeah, that's fine. Elden Ring, yep. Outer Wilds, Return to the Obra Dinn. Do you think Outer Wilds deserves S tier? Speaking of word pool, まあ、量子力学とか, there's a lot of hard words like quantum mechanics. But there's also not that many. You know? There's not that many words. Because a lot of the dialogue in the game repeats stuff. Like information, just because of how the game is structured. I almost want to move it down. This is a pretty top-heavy list anyway. Return to the Obra Dinn can stay there, I guess. I don't know, that one's such a weird one too. Like, is Outer Wilds harder than Persona 4? I feel like it's not. I'm gonna move Outer Wilds, call me crazy, I'm gonna move Outer Wilds down here. I think I like that better. Deltarune being above Final Fantasy X feels strange. You're right, it does feel strange. I kind of feel like if we were to treat... Okay, well, let's just think about this. I feel like these three are probably pretty similar in difficulty and just aesthetic and everything else. Omori, Deltarune, and Undertale. Of these three, which is like the hardest? Probably Omori. I think this is probably how I might organize. If it was just these three, I think this is probably how I would organize it. I feel like Undertale Deltarune involves a lot of stumbling, but it isn't that hard yet. To be honest, yeah. And mostly they've used a lot of words that I guess like are atypical, but like not uncommon. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of words in this language. English is the same, but it's kind of like hearing, like, people are using jump all the time, and then someday some asshole comes up and says leap to you. I leapt instead of jump, and you're like, what the fuck is leapt? You know? It's not like leap or leapt is a particularly rare word. It's just haven't come across it. You know? That's maybe what I'm thinking about this. Some leapt ass asshole. Some freaking leapt using ass prick comes along, starts throwing leaps at you. I could see that. I think I actually want to move Resident Evil 4 down to C tier. I kind of like this idea maybe of grouping these three and just ordering them like 4, 2, 3. Like, I think that, I don't know that 4 is definitely harder than Resident Evil 2 with the Japanese. I don't know that it's that much harder. But then again, I might say that 4 is harder than Musashi. I don't know that I would say that either. Okay, hold on. We'll come back to that. We'll table this. Coming back to A tier. Yakuza Like a Dragon. I don't mind this. A tier. This. I can live with this. I can live with this. I think the one thing I might want to move though, I think Sea of Stars could probably go into B tier. Maybe top of B tier, but I think we can move that. You agree? I'm right? That's all I've ever wanted to hear. 子供の頃からずっと聞きたかった言葉なんだけど. Is there anything else from A tier that we might want to move down? It does seem a little strange maybe to keep like Yakuza 0 and Like a Dragon so separate, but it's mostly just because of the Osaka bin that's in Yakuza 0 and not in Like a Dragon. I think I'm okay with this for now with A tier. B tier, I guess we could also think about, if we're thinking of B tier as like an average. I mean, I expect this list to change, and they're more just rough guidelines anyway. Like, if B... But then again, maybe I just don't play averagely difficult games when it comes to the language. Or maybe I think everything is hard. C tier, maybe? Did we put these in C? I think Omori, for the font alone, could probably stay in B. But maybe we put it at the end of B. I don't know. I think Expedition 33 has been piss easy, to be honest. For the Japanese wise. And I don't know that I can justify... Well, here's the thing. Deltarune is way freaking longer. I mean, it's going to be way longer than Undertale. And that is a difficulty criteria, length of game. We can maybe split them too. Split them here. And I don't hate that. I'm okay. I think I don't hate this. I don't hate this. This A tier seems like it's kind of inflated, but that's probably just because it should be. Maybe I just don't like that it's bigger than the other ones. Here's a question for you. Do we think that Deltarune is harder than Final Fantasy X-2? I know because of the length, I put Final Fantasy X-2 where it is, but could it go there reasonably? I do think it's easier than 10. Now I'm just like doing a different kind of categorization though, where I just put all of the games that are in the same series next to each other, which is not the essential attributes I should be looking at. I think I can live with this, chat. Honestly, Kukiyomi could go... I know why I was ranking its difficulty. Like, Kukiyomi has almost hardly any dialogue in it, but the thing is that you can't stop. The dialogue is not pausable, so you have to, it forces you to read really fast, which is why I put it into bottom of C tier. Katana Zero is, for a similar reason, up at B. Katana Zero is way hard. I'm gonna put Kukiyomi down here. Kukiyomi belongs in the D tier. Look at that filthy owl. Yeah, look at it. Just staring at you. Have you done your duo today? Have you done your duo today? Huh? I'm just thinking about this more than it deserves. I think I want to put Kukiyomi down here. I'm okay with this for now. Until I look at it 6 months from now and I'm like, this thing's so stupid. How could you possibly think this, Mr. Slippy? Oh, I was supposed to do a YouTube outro, huh? Hold on. And that's the tier list, everybody. It's okay, I'm gonna cut this part out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me why I'm wrong in the comments. You know, I'm sure you fucking weebs have all sorts of goddamn opinions you want to share about Japanese N5. So fucking put it in the comments, you scared little pansies. What? You think I'm afraid of you? Do it. Cut. Oh wait, I just did. This is the wrong list that we're looking at. This is not the difficulty tier list that I did the outro for. This is the wrong one. Damn it, I don't think I even have it. I don't have it in me to do another outro. We'll just leave it like that.